Okay, I'm going to read from chapter 14 of Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are hearing about the modes of nature
Mm,
from Lord Krishna,
mm,
how the different modes affect us, how they condition us, how the destinations are different. Okay, so
mm.
let's go on. Text 19.
नान्यं गुणेभ्यः कर्तारं यदा दृष्टानुपश्यति गुणेभ्यश्च परं वेति मद्भावं सोऽधिगच्छति. When one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than these modes of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental to all these modes, he attains my spiritual nature. Purport. One can transcend all the activities of the modes of material nature simply by understanding them properly, by learning from the proper souls. The real spiritual master is Krishna, and he is imparting the spiritual knowledge to Arjun. Similarly, it is from those who are fully in Krishna consciousness that one has to learn this science of activities in terms of the modes of nature. Otherwise, one's life will be misdirected. By the instruction of a bona fide spiritual master, a living entity can know of his spiritual position, his material body, his senses, how he is entrapped, and how he is under the spell of the material modes of nature. He is helpless, being in the grip of these modes, but when he can see his real position, then he can attain to the transcendental platform, having the scope for spiritual life. Actually, the living entity is not the performer of different activities. He is forced to act because he is situated in a particular type of body, conducted by some particular mode of material nature. Unless one has the help of spiritual authority, he cannot understand in what position he is actually situated. With the association of a bona fide spiritual master, he can see his real position, and by such an understanding, he can become fixed in full Krishna consciousness. A man in Krishna consciousness is not controlled by the spell of the material modes of nature. It has already been stated in the seventh chapter that one who has surrendered to Krishna is relieved from the activities of material nature. For one who is able to see things as they are, the influence of material nature gradually ceases.
So, what is Krishna saying here?
Krishna is saying that, uh, like, once we can understand that the modes of nature and how we perform under those modes of nature, and once we understand through spiritual master, then we can transcend these modes of nature, and we know Krishna
Yeah. So, is
is already
Krishna also,
transcended.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, is Krishna under the modes of nature?
No.
Yeah, that's right. The modes don't control him, the modes control us.
Mm.
Right? Krishna is above the modes. Okay, so let's go on then.
गुणानेतान् अतीत्य देहि देह समुद्भवान् जन्म मृत्यु जरा दुःखैर् विमुक्तो मृतम् अश्नुते. When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. How one can stay in the transcendental position even in this body in full Krishna consciousness is explained in this verse. The Sanskrit word Dehi means embodied. Although one is within this material body, by his advancement in spiritual knowledge, he can be free from the influence of the moods of nature. he can enjoy the happiness of spiritual life, even in this body, because after leaving this body, he is certainly going to the spiritual sky. But even in this body, he can enjoy spiritual happiness. In other words, devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the sign of liberation from material entanglement. And this will be explained in the 18th chapter. When one is freed from the influence of the modes of material nature, he enters into devotional service.
So, what do we understand from this one?
We understand that once um, only through Krishna consciousness we can transcend these three modes of nature, and once we will be free from all these four: birth, death, old age, and their distresses, once we are transcendental to these three modes, and we can also enjoy on the earth.
Yeah. So, it
So, yeah.
shows that the pure devotee is liberated,
Mm,
even though he's in a material body, but he is
mm,
not controlled by the modes because he's engaging in devotional service. And devotional
mm,
service is the eternal activity of the soul. So he's liberated. He's acting as the soul, as a servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarubhai Krishna Nityadas.
mm,
Lord Chaitanya says that that is the swarup of every living entity. So so we can say pure devotee means he's transcended the modes. He's not controlled by the modes. He's understood. I'm soul, spirit soul. So he's acting as
mm,
a spirit soul. He's engaging in devotional service.
mm,
So he's a Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta is in this material world, but he is liberated.
mm.
Okay, so let's go on.
अर्जुन उवाच कैर्लिङ्गे स्त्रीन् गुणान् एतान् अतीतो भवति प्रभो किम् आचाराः कथं चैतां स्त्रीन् गुणान् अतिवर्तते. Arjuna inquired, O my dear Lord, by which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? What is his behavior and how does he transcend the modes of nature? In this verse, Arjuna wants to know the symptom. Arjuna questions are very appropriate. He wants to know the symptoms of a person who has already transcended the material modes. He first inquires of the symptoms of such a transcendental person. How can one understand that he has already transcended the influence of the moods of material nature? The second question asks how he lives and what his activities are. Are they regulated or non regulated? Then Arjuna inquires of the means by which he can attain the transcendental nature. That is very important. Unless one knows the direct means by which one can be situated always transcendentally, there is no possibility of showing the symptoms. So, all these questions put by Arjuna are very important, and the Lord answers them.
Okay, so what are the questions that Arjuna is asking?
How we can know if someone is transcendental to the three moods, and what is his behavior, and how does he transcend these moods?
Yeah, how to transcend the modes.
Mm,
Okay. So let's see what the Lord is saying now.
mm. श्रीभगवान् उवाच प्रकाशं च प्रवृत्तिं च मोहम् एव च पाण्डव न द्वेष्टि सम्प्रवर्तानि न निवृत्तानि काङ्क्षति उदासीनो वद आसीनो गुणैर्यो न विचाल्यते गुणा वर्तन्त इति एवं यो वतिष्ठति नेङ्गते समदुःखसुखस्वस्थाः समलोष्टास्म काञ्चनाः तुल्यप्रिया प्रियो धीरस् तुल्यनिन्दात्मसंस्तुतिः माना मान मानापं मानाप अमानयोस्तुल्यो मित्रारिपक्षयोः सर्वारम्भ परित्यागी गुणा गुणातीतः स उच्यते. I think can you just reduce the size of the screen because
It's too
it's
big, is it?
yeah, and
Okay.
it's also like kind distract when reading and also it might help you also.
Okay, let's see. Where did we go now? We were on.
We were on 1920, I guess 22.
So this size is okay? Or is
Yeah. Can you read it?
huh?
Is it okay for you?
Um, all right. It's all right. You're saying 22,
Okay.
is it? 22 to 25. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's close here. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Now better. Yeah. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion, when they are present or long for them, he does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion. When they are present or long for them, when they disappear. Who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal toward the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the moods of nature. Purport. Arjuna submitted three different questions and the Lord answers them one after another. In these verses, Krishna first indicates that a person transcendently situated has no envy and does not hanker for anything. When a living entity stays in this material world embodied by the material body, it is to be understood that he is under the control of one of the three modes of material nature. When he is actually out of the body, then he is out of the clutches of the material modes of nature. But as long as he is not out of the material body, he should be neutral. He should engage himself in the devotional service of the Lord so that his identity with the material body will automatically be forgotten. When one is conscious of the material body, he acts only for sense gratification. But when one transfers the consciousness to Krishna,
One moment, because whenever somehow this, yeah, I don't know why does this thing keep coming. Consciousness to Krishna.
uh, yeah, sense gratification automatically stops. When one does not need this material body and he does not need to accept the dictations of the material body. The qualities of the material moods in the body will act, but as spirit soul, the self is aloof from such activities. How does he become aloof? He does not desire to enjoy the body, nor does he desire to get out of it. Thus, transcendently situated, the devotee becomes automatically free. He need not try to become free from the influence of the moods of material nature.
So let's see first. Now, the first paragraph. What are we understanding here? Because
Yeah.
Krishna is saying, well, okay, so what is Prabhupada explaining in this verse?
Like first, Krishna is answering to the question and of Arjuna, and he's telling that a transcendentally situated person has no envy, and he doesn't want anything. He's not after anything.
Yeah, it's not after anything. So then how to be in the body and not be affected by the modes?
Like we have to stay neutral. The
Hmm.
person has to stay neutral
Hmm.
and
And
engage themselves in devotional service.
yeah, because that is the eternal identity of the soul. Jivera Swarupaya Krishna Nitya Das. So
Mm,
what we are doing actually, we are thinking, I'm the body, so I want this, I want to do this. Everything to do with the body. But as
mm,
soon as one engages in devotional service, let me do this to please Krishna, let me do that to please Krishna, then he's automatically not thinking himself as the body. This is the pure devotee. So the pure devotee, we can see
So,
that he's acting everything for pleasure of Krishna. Yes.
yeah, so can we say that although the person has this material body, so even the person stays neutral, but sometimes that person can also be influenced by the modes of nature.
Yeah, so the thing is staying neutral, but then what is the positive thing to do? Engage in devotional service.
Mm,
Yeah. That is the
mm,
main point. Engage in
mm.
devotional service.
Okay.
So that's how we can understand that the pure devotee, because all his activities are to please Krishna. He's kept Krishna in the center. He's
Mm,
not keeping his body in the center.
mm.
So that's how
Okay.
he's liberated. What we do, we are thinking, I want this, I want to do this, I am tired, I am hungry, I am sleepy.
Yeah.
But the pure devotee is thinking all the time, how can I please Krishna? What can I do to please Krishna? That is what he's doing.
Mm.
That's how he's
Okay.
transcendental. So here, the body will act. Of course, he is going to eat and sleep. He is. But then, what is his center is Krishna. So he is doing it
Mm.
not for himself, but to keep the body fit to engage in devotional service.
Okay.
So he's not separately trying to get liberated.
Mhm.
He's not separately endeavoring, oh, first I should get liberated, then I'll engage in devotional service. No, he's just engaging in devotional service.
Mm.
Is that okay?
Yeah. The next question concerns the dealings of a transcendentally situated person. The materially situated person is affected by so called honor and dishonor offered to the body. But the transcendently situated person is not affected by such false honor and dishonor. He performs his duty in Krishna consciousness and does not mind whether a man honors or dishonors him. He accepts things that are favorable for his duty in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, he has no necessity of anything material, either a stone or gold. He takes everyone as his dear friend who helps him in his execution of Krishna consciousness. And he does not hate his so called enemy. He is equally disposed and sees everything on an equal level because he knows perfectly well that he has nothing to do with material existence. Social and political issues do not affect him because he knows the situation of temporary upheavals and disturbances. He does not attempt anything for his own sake. He can attempt anything for Krishna, but for his personal self, he does not attempt anything. By such behavior, one can become actually transcendently situated.
Hmm. So, what is the second thing here? How is he acting? Arjuna
Uh,
was saying, how does
I-
he behave, right?
yeah, they are not affected by any honor and dishonor. And even if somebody is helping them in Krishna consciousness, they take them as a friend, and otherwise, they don't consider anyone as their enemy. And they
Mhm.
accept everything equally. Like they equally look at a stone or gold equally.
Yeah, so practically, how can we understand seeing stone and gold everything equally? How can we
Practic-
practically understand that? Because he's using
Mm,
everything in Krishna's service.
okay.
So that's how he's able to be, seeing stone or gold. He's saying, let me use it in Krishna's service.
Mm, okay.
Yeah. What else?
Mm. And what else is that person doesn't accept anything for his own bodily comfort, but if it is required for Krishna consciousness, then
Yeah.
it can be accepted. Yeah.
So usually the
Mm.
example of Madhavendra Puri is given in this regard to explain
Mm.
us. Madhavendra Puri, Gopal came to him in dream and told him, I'm feeling too hot. Go get chandan for me. Put
Mm.
it on my body. I'm too hot now. So Madhavendra Puri, he went to Jagannath Puri to get this chandan, sandalwood. And before there was no like means of transport, right? He had to walk all the way. And then there were tolls, he has to arrange for that. So he took, it was not easy, but he undertook the journey. He went to Jagannath Puri, he got so much sandalwood somehow or the other. Then, of course, when he was coming back, he was in Remuna, Gopal came to him and said, this Gopinath is also me only. So you put the chandan on Gopinath, the same me. You put on Gopinath, I will feel cooling. That's how we celebrate Chandan Yatra. And then Madhavendra Puri arranged for the Chandan to be round. It's not easy, You keep on grinding and grinding the sandalwood, little only comes out. To cover the full deity, a lot of Chandan is required. And for himself, he would never even beg for food. Whatever he would get, somebody would give him something to eat, he would eat, otherwise, he would fast. He would not eat anything, maybe just drink some water. So, like that, one day he had not eaten anything and he was not going begging also. Krishna himself came to him as a small cowherd boy, gave him a
Mm.
pot of milk, and told him, my mother has given this milk for you. Yeah, so
Mm.
Madhavendra, this is how, for himself, he's not attempting anything. But for Krishna's sake, went. He went all the way to
Mm.
Jagannath Puri. Not easy. And he had to get so much sandalwood. So
Mm.
all the tolls he had to pay, arrange for the transport of the
Uh-huh.
chandan.
Okay.
So this is how the pure devotee, his center is Krishna. How can I please Krishna? And that's
Mm.
how he is above the modes. The modes are not binding to him, you know.
Mm.
He's transcendental.
Mm.
You have
Okay.
any question?
No, I'm just. Mm. Yeah, I think it's a good verse with a lot of info. I think something similar to this is also in chapter third, I guess. Like how we can identify a true yogi or something.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah, I don't remember actually in which chapter, but something like how we can identify if a person is transcendently situated, if the guru is real, something like that is there
Yeah. Okay.
in first few chapters, somewhere in the first few chapters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So here also is said that whatever is favorable, he is accepting.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he has no necessity of taking anything material. So this is one of the items of surrender. The two items of
Mm.
surrender: accepting whatever is favorable for Krishna consciousness and rejecting anything that is unfavorable for him to please
Mm.
Krishna. So that we can see his center is always how I can please Krishna, how I can serve Krishna. Whatever or
Mm.
whoever helps him in um, engaging in devotional service, he accepts that. And whatever
Mm.
will take him away from Krishna consciousness, from not doing devotional service, then he does not accept that. He rejects that.
Mm. Okay.
So, this is the behavior of the pure devotee.
Okay.
Yeah. Shall we stop here?
Yeah.
Okay. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Hare Krishna. Thank you.